Saving $10,000 in 1 year. The math is simple, right? $10,000 divided by 12 months equals $833 per month. Just save that amount every month for a year and you're done. Financial gurus make this sound easy. Cut your Starbucks, cancel Netflix, stop eating avocado toast. Save your $833 and build wealth. Here's the problem with that advice. If you're making $45,000 a year, your take-home pay after taxes is about $2,800 per month. Saving $833 means you're living on $1,967 for everything else: rent, car payment, insurance, student loans, groceries, gas, phone bill, everything. That's not budgeting. That's barely surviving. And when your rent alone is $1,200 and your car payment is $400, the math doesn't work. You're not failing because you lack discipline. You're failing because the generic advice ignores your actual financial reality. But here's what nobody tells you. You can save $10,000 in a year, maybe even faster. You just need a strategy that's based on what you actually make, not some one-size-fits-all plan designed for people earning twice your income. My name is Mike, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do this, not with fantasy budgets or extreme deprivation, but with real strategies for different income levels. Whether you're making $35,000 or $85,000, there's a path that works for your situation. And by the end of this video, you'll have the exact month-by-month plan to make it happen. So hit that subscribe button because we're about to break down the real system for saving your first $10,000. Before we get into the strategies, we need to address why the standard advice fails so spectacularly for most people. The median household income in America is about $75,000. Sounds decent, right? After taxes, that's roughly $4,700 per month in take-home pay. Saving $833 per month would be an 18% savings rate. Financial experts love to tell you that's totally reasonable. After all, you're bringing home $4,700. Saving $833 leaves you $3,867 for everything else. Should be fine. Except it's not fine when you actually look at what things cost. Let's run the real numbers. Rent or mortgage for a median home in most cities runs between $1,500 and $2,500 per month. We'll use $1,800 as a conservative estimate. Car payment and insurance. The average car payment in America is now $739 per month. Add insurance at $150 per month, that's $889 total. Student loans. If you have them, you're probably paying $200 to $500 per month depending on your balance. Healthcare. If you're paying for your own insurance or covering a family, you're looking at $200 to $400 per month between premiums and out-of-pocket costs. Groceries. The USDA says a moderate food budget for one adult is about $350 per month. For a family of 4, it's closer to $1,000. Utilities, phone, internet, easily $200 to $300 per month combined. Let's add this up for a single person with student loans. Rent, $1,800. Car and insurance, $889. Student loans, $300. Healthcare, $200. Groceries, $350. Utilities and phone, $250. Total, $3,789 per month. Remember, your take-home was $4,700. You got $911 left, and we haven't accounted for gas, clothing, any form of entertainment, unexpected expenses, or saving for retirement. You're supposed to save $833 out of that remaining $911, which leaves you $78 per month for literally everything else. One tank of gas costs $50, so you've got $28 left for the entire month for clothes, haircuts, going out with friends, fixing things that break, or any purchase whatsoever. This is why people feel like failures when they can't save. The math literally doesn't work for their income and expense structure. It's not about discipline, it's about the fact that costs have risen faster than wages for 40 years, and nobody wants to admit that the standard advice is built for an economy that no longer exists. But here's the thing. Complaining about the system doesn't save you $10,000. Understanding the system and working within it does.
You can save $10,000, but you need a strategy that actually accounts for your real income, your real expenses, and the real world you're living in, not some guru's fantasy where everyone makes six figures and has no debt. Let's build the plan that actually works. Even when the math technically works, there are psychological forces working against you that most financial advice completely ignores. Let me show you the invisible barriers that sabotage your savings, even when you have good intentions. Barrier number 1, present bias. Your brain is wired to value immediate pleasure over future security. This isn't a character flaw, it's evolutionary psychology. For most of human history, there was no guarantee you'd be alive in a year, so taking the immediate reward made sense. $100 today feels more real and more valuable than $1,000 a year from now. Even though logically, you know the future money is worth more, your emotional brain screams at you to spend the money now. This is why saving feels like punishment. You're denying your present self something tangible for the benefit of your future self who doesn't feel real yet. The fix isn't willpower. It's making the future feel immediate. We'll talk about how to do that in a minute. Barrier number 2, decision fatigue. Every single day, you're making hundreds of micro decisions about money. Should I buy this coffee or make it at home? Should I order delivery or cook? Should I buy the name brand or generic? Each of these decisions burns mental energy. By the end of the day, your willpower is depleted. This is why you make your worst financial decisions at night. You're exhausted from deciding all day and you just want to order food and not think about it. The fix is eliminating decisions. You can't rely on willpower when you're making 50 spending choices per day. You need systems that make the decision for you. Barrier number 3, the progress invisibility problem. Let's say you save $200 in month 1. You check your savings account. It says $200. Your goal is $10,000. You're 2% of the way there. It feels like nothing, like you're not even making progress. So you get discouraged. You think, what's the point? I'll never get there. And you quit. This is completely irrational, but it's how human brains work. We need to see meaningful progress to stay motivated. And $200 out of $10,000 doesn't feel meaningful, even though it absolutely is. The fix is breaking the goal into smaller milestones that feel achievable. Celebrate every $1,000. Celebrate every $2,500. Make the progress visible and frequent. Barrier number 4, lifestyle comparison. You're sacrificing to save money. You're skipping the happy hours. You're not buying the new clothes. You're meal prepping instead of going out. And your coworker just bought a new car. Your friend is posting vacation photos. Your neighbor has the latest iPhone. It feels like you're punishing yourself while everyone else is living their best life. Here's what you don't see. Your coworker is financing that car at 8% interest for 7 years. Your friend put the vacation on a credit card. Your neighbor has $8,000 in credit card debt. They look like they're winning, but they're actually losing. You look like you're sacrificing, but you're actually building a foundation they'll never have. The fix is remembering that Instagram isn't real life. Most people who look rich are actually broke, and most people who are actually building wealth look boring from the outside. Barrier number 5, emergency disruption. You save $1,000. You're feeling good about your progress. Then your car breaks down. The repair cost $800. You pay for it from your savings. Your balance drops to $200. Psychologically, it feels like you're back to zero, like the month of saving didn't matter. Even though you just handled an emergency without going into debt, which is exactly what savings is for, it feels like failure. The fix is separating your emergency buffer from your goal savings. Save $1,000 to $2,000 as an untouchable emergency fund. Save your $10,000 in a completely separate account. When an emergency hits, the emergency fund handles it, and your goal savings stay intact. Understanding these barriers is half the battle. The strategies we're about to cover are designed to work with your psychology, not against it. Here's the part where most financial advice falls apart. They give you one strategy and expect it to work for everyone. But someone making $35,000 faces completely different challenges than someone making $85,000. Acting like they should follow the same plan is financial malpractice. So I'm going to give you 3 different paths based on income. Find the one that matches your situation and follow that roadmap. Path A is for people making $30,000 to $45,000 per year. That's roughly $2,000 to $2,800 in monthly take-home pay after taxes. Here's the reality. At this income level, saving $833 per month is probably not possible without making major life changes. Your fixed expenses are likely eating up 80 to 90% of your income. That doesn't mean you can't save $10,000. It means you need to either extend the timeline or dramatically reduce your costs or increase your income. Probably all three. Month 1 through 3, your focus is audit and cut. Track every dollar you spend for 30 days. Not to shame yourself, but to find the leaks. Cancel every subscription you're not actively using. Negotiate your car insurance, your phone bill, your internet. Call every company and ask for a lower rate. Half of them will say yes just because you asked. Stop eating out entirely for these 3 months. Meal prep on Sundays. Boring but effective. Your target is to free up $200 to $300 per month. Put it in a separate savings account immediately. Month 4 through 6, you're focusing on your living situation. This is where the big savings come from. If you're living alone, get a roommate. Yes, it sucks. Yes, you're an adult who doesn't want a roommate, but a roommate can save you $400 to $700 per month in rent and utilities. If you can't get a roommate, move to a cheaper place. If you're paying $1,200 for rent and you can find something for $900, that's $300 per month or $3,600 per year. This is temporary. You're not doing this forever. You're doing it for 12 to 18 months to hit your goal. Your target for months 4 through 6 is to be saving $400 per month total between expense cuts and housing reduction. Months 7 through 12, you need to increase your income. Because at this income level, there's a limit to how much you can cut. You can't cut rent to zero. You can't stop eating. This means asking for a raise, taking on overtime, switching to a higher paying job, or starting a side hustle. Even an extra $300 to $500 per month changes everything. If you can add $400 per month in income, combined with your $400 in expense cuts, you're now saving $800 per month. Realistic outcome for Path A, you'll probably save $6,000 to $8,000 in the first 12 months. You'll hit $10,000 by month 15 to 18. That's not failure. That's success on a lower income. And once you hit $10,000, you've built the skills and systems to keep building wealth. Path B is for people making $50,000 to $70,000 per year. That's roughly $3,200 to $4,300 in monthly take-home. This is the sweet spot, where $10,000 in 12 months is totally achievable, but it requires discipline and optimization. Month 1 and 2, do the financial snapshot. Track your spending for 30 days to see where the money actually goes. Identify your top 3 expense leaks. For most people, it's food delivery, convenience purchases, and subscription creep. Cut or dramatically reduce all 3. Your target is to free up $300 to $400 per month immediately. Month 3 through 5, optimize your 2 biggest expenses, housing and transportation. If you're spending more than 30% of your take-home on rent, you need to either get a roommate or move. If you're at $1,800 rent on $3,500 take-home, that's over 50%. That's crushing your ability to save. Drop it to $1,200 with a roommate or a smaller place, and you just freed up $600 per month. For transportation, if you're making a $500 car payment, sell the car. Buy a $5,000 used car with cash. Your payment drops to $0. Your insurance drops by half. You just freed up another $400 per month. Your target for months 4 through 6 is to be saving $600 per month total between expense cuts and housing reduction. Months 7 through 12, you need to increase your income by 10 to 15%. At this income level, a $5,000 to $10,000 salary increase is realistic if you switch jobs or get promoted. Even a $6,000 annual raise is $500 per month. Add that to your $600 in savings from expense cuts, and you're now at $1,100 per month. But you don't inflate your lifestyle with the raise, you redirect it entirely to savings. Month 9 through 12 is the sprint phase. You've cut expenses, you've increased income, and now you're in momentum mode. Add any windfalls, tax refund, work bonus, side hustle income, every dollar goes to savings. Your target is to hit $10,000 by month 12, possibly month 13 or 14 if you had a slow start. Realistic outcome for Path B, $10,000 in 12 to 14 months is very achievable if you execute the plan. Path C is for people making $75,000 to $100,000 per year. That's roughly $4,700 to $6,200 in monthly take-home. At this income level, $833 per month is completely doable from a math perspective. Your enemy isn't lack of money, it's lifestyle inflation and unconscious spending. Month 1, automate everything. This is the entire strategy in one move. Set up an automatic transfer of $850 per month from your checking account to a separate savings account at a different bank. Schedule it for the day after your paycheck hits. The money disappears before you see it. What's left in your checking account is your spending money. You adapt to living on that amount. Month 2 through 4, do a financial lifestyle audit. Now that you've automated savings, track where the remaining money goes. You'll probably find hundreds of dollars per month going to things that don't actually improve your life. Restaurants you don't remember, subscriptions you forgot about, purchases made to impress people who don't care. Cut or reduce these without feeling deprived. The goal isn't to live like you're poor. It's to stop spending on things that don't matter so you can build wealth that does. Your target is to maintain your $850 per month savings without it feeling like a strain. Month 5 through 8, increase your automatic savings to $1,000 per month. You've proven you can live on less. You've cut the waste. Now you're accelerating. You're also adding any windfalls, bonuses, raises, or windfalls straight to savings. That work bonus, straight to savings. Tax refund, straight to savings. Month 9 through 12, you're on cruise control. You're either at $10,000 already or you're going to hit it by month 10 or 11. Your only job is to not backslide. Don't celebrate early by blowing money. Don't let lifestyle inflation creep back in. Finish what you started. Realistic outcome for Path C, $10,000 by month 10 to 12, possibly $12,000 to $13,000 if you're aggressive. The key takeaway here is that your income determines your strategy. Lower income means longer timeline or bigger sacrifices. Higher income means automation and discipline against lifestyle inflation. Pick the path that matches your reality and follow it.
Let's talk about why most people think they know where their money goes, but they're completely wrong. Traditional budgeting tells you to track every single expense, write down every coffee, every tank of gas, every grocery trip, categorize it all, review it weekly. This approach fails for 95% of people because it's exhausting. You do it for 2 weeks, fall behind, feel like a failure, and quit. I'm going to show you a much simpler way to find out where your money actually goes. It's called the 30-day reverse budget, and it requires almost no effort. On the first day of the month, check your bank account balance. Write down that number. Then, live your life normally for 30 days. Don't track anything, don't change your behavior, just live. On day 30, check your bank balance again. Subtract the ending balance from the starting balance. That number is what you spent during the month. You don't need to know that $4.50 went to coffee and $12 went to lunch. You just need to know that $3,200 left your account and only $2,100 of it went to fixed bills. That means $1,100 disappeared into discretionary spending. Now you know the scale of the problem. The next step is identifying what I call the big three. These are the 3 expense categories that make up 60 to 70% of most people's spending: housing, transportation, food. Everything else is noise. You could cut every subscription, every coffee, every small purchase, and you'd save maybe $200 per month. But if you optimize one of the big 3, you can save $300 to $800 per month with a single decision. Let's start with housing. Most people spend 35 to 50% of their take-home income on rent or mortgage. The recommendation is to stay under 30%. If you're making $3,500 per month and spending $1,750 on rent, that's 50%. You're housing poor. If you could drop that to $1,200 with a roommate or a smaller place, you just freed up $550 per month. That's $6,600 per year. One decision, massive impact. Transportation is the second leak. The average car payment in America is now $739 per month. Add insurance at $200 per month, and you're at $939. If you sell that finance car and buy a $5,000 used car in cash, your payment drops to $0 and your insurance drops to about $100. You just saved $839 per month. That's $10,068 per year.
You could literally hit your $10,000 goal in 1 year just by changing your car situation. That's how powerful the big three are. Food is the third leak. The average American household spends about $600 per month on food, $400 on groceries, and $200 on restaurants and delivery. If you meal prep and stop using delivery apps, you can cut that to $350 per month total. You just saved $250 per month or $3,000 per year. Now, most people also have what I call the subscription leak. The average household pays for a $273 per month in subscriptions, streaming services, apps, gym memberships, subscription boxes. Most people can't even name half of what they're subscribed to. Cancel everything. Seriously, cancel it all. Then resubscribe to only the things you actually miss after 30 days. You'll probably save $150 to $200 per month or $1,800 to $2,400 per year. There's also the hidden leak, convenience spending. Delivery fees, convenience stores, impulse Amazon purchases, last-minute trips to the grocery store where you buy way more than you planned. This adds up to $200 to $400 per month without them even realizing it. The fix is planning ahead. Meal prep on Sundays so you're not ordering delivery on Tuesday. Buy in bulk so you're not making emergency runs to CVS and paying double the price. Here's the action step. Audit your big three. Just the big three. Pick one: housing, transportation, or food. Optimize that one thing this week. Don't try to fix everything, just fix one. If you cut $400 from housing, or $700 from transportation, or $250 from food, you're 30 to 80% of the way to your monthly savings goal from a single change. That's the power of focusing on what actually matters instead of obsessing over $5 coffees.
Let's talk about why trying harder to save money doesn't work and what it actually does. Willpower is a limited resource. You wake up with a certain amount of it, and every decision you make throughout the day depletes it. By 7 p.m., when you're tired and hungry, your willpower is gone. That's why you make your worst financial decisions at night. You order takeout, you buy stuff online, you justify purchases you'd never make at 10 a.m. when your willpower was full. You can't white-knuckle your way to $10,000 in savings. You'll fail. Everyone fails when they rely on daily discipline. What works is systems. Systems that make the right choice automatic. Systems that don't require you to be strong or disciplined. Systems that work even when you're tired, stressed, or distracted. Here are the 6 systems that make saving inevitable instead of optional. System number 1, the separate account rule. Open a savings account at a completely different bank from your checking account. Not the same bank, a different one. Why? Because when your savings are at the same bank, it's too easy to transfer money back to checking when you want to buy something. When it's at a different bank, there's friction. The transfer takes 2 to 3 days. That delay gives your rational brain time to override your impulsive brain. Out of sight, out of mind. The money feels less accessible, so you're less likely to spend it. System number 2, automated transfer on payday. Set up an automatic transfer for the day after your paycheck hits your account. $200, $400, $833, whatever your target amount is. Schedule it to happen automatically every payday. The money disappears before you see it, before you can spend it, before you can talk yourself out of saving it. You never decide to save. It just happens, and you adapt to living on what's left. This is the single most powerful savings tool that exists. One-time setup, permanent results. System number 3, the Roundup hack. There are apps like Acorns, Digit, and Capital that automatically round up your purchases to the nearest dollar and save the difference. You buy a coffee for $4.50. The app charges you $5 and saves the extra 50 cents. Every purchase generates a tiny amount of savings. You don't notice 50 cents, but 50 cents per purchase, 5 purchases per day, 30 days per month adds up to $75 per month. Over a year, that's $900 saved completely invisibly. System number 4, the tax refund redirect. The average American gets a $3,000 tax refund. Most people treat this like bonus money and blow it on stuff they don't need. But that refund isn't a gift.
It's your money that you overpaid to the government all year. When your refund hits, direct deposit it straight into your savings account. Not checking, savings. That's 30% of your $10,000 goal in a single day. System number 5, the raise capture. When you get a raise, immediately increase your automatic savings by that exact amount. If you get a $3,000 annual raise, that's $250 per month. Increase your automatic transfer by $250 the same day you get the raise. You never experience lifestyle inflation because you never see the extra money. Your paycheck looks the same as before, but your savings rate just jumped. System number 6, the one account trick. Keep only enough money in your checking account to cover your bills plus a $200 buffer. Everything else goes to savings. When your checking account is low, you naturally spend less. There's nothing to spend. This creates artificial scarcity that forces discipline without requiring willpower. Here's the psychology of why automation works. You adapt to whatever you see as available. If you see $3,000 in your checking account, your brain thinks you have $3,000 to spend. Even if $1,000 of that is supposed to be savings, you'll find a way to justify spending it. But if you only see $2,000 in checking because $1,000 already went to savings, your brain adapts. You live on $2,000. The $1,000 in savings doesn't even tempt you because you never saw it. Manual saving requires daily discipline. Automatic saving requires one-time setup. Which one do you think is more likely to work for 12 months straight? Set up the systems. Let them run. The savings happen whether you feel motivated that day or not. There's a point where you've cut every expense you can reasonably cut, and you're still not hitting your savings target. You're not eating out, you have a roommate, you cancel the subscriptions, you meal prep, you drive a paid-off used car, and you're still only saving $400 a month instead of the $833 you need. This is especially true if you're at the lower end of the income spectrum. If you're making $35,000, there's a mathematical limit to how much you can cut. You can't cut rent to zero, you can't stop eating, you can't eliminate transportation. At a certain point, the only solution is earning more money. Let me show you 5 ways to increase your income, ranked from easiest to most effort. Strategy number 1, the job switch. This is the fastest way to increase your income, and most people completely ignore it. Staying at the same job gets you 3 to 5% annual raises. Switching jobs gets you 15 to 30% salary increases. Over 10 years, people who switch jobs every 2 to 3 years earn $200,000 to $500,000 more than people who stay put. If you're making $50,000 and you switch jobs for $60,000, that's an extra $10,000 per year. After taxes, that's about $600 per month. Combined with your existing $400 in savings, you're now at $1,000 per month. You just crushed your goal. The action step is simple. Update your resume this week, apply to 10 jobs in the next 30 days. When you get an offer, negotiate hard. Strategy number 2, the internal promotion. If you don't want to leave your current company, ask for a raise. Most people never ask. They just hope their boss notices their hard work and offers more money. That almost never happens. Schedule a meeting with your boss, bring data on what you've accomplished, bring market research on what people in your role typically earn. Ask for a specific number, not, I'd like to make more. Say, I'd like to increase my salary to $65,000 based on my performance and market rates. If they say no, ask what you need to do to get that raise in 6 months. Then do it and ask again. Even a $5,000 raise is $300 more per month after taxes. That could be the difference between hitting your goal and falling short. Strategy number 3, the strategic side hustle. I'm not talking about working yourself to death driving for Uber. I'm talking about strategic income that leverages skills you already have. If you're good at graphic design, freelance on weekends. If you're good at writing, pick up freelance content work. If you know how to code, take on contract projects. The goal isn't to build a business. The goal is to generate an extra $500 to $1,000 per month for 6 to 12 months while you build your savings. Once you hit $10,000, you can ease off the side work if you want. Strategy number 4, the overtime or bonus play. If your job offers overtime, take it, temporarily. 1 year of an extra 10 hours per week at time and a half can generate $8,000 to $15,000 in additional income depending on your base pay. That's 80 to 150% of your savings goal from overtime alone. The same logic applies to bonuses. If your company has performance bonuses, ask your boss what triggers them, then hit those targets. Strategy number 5, the skill upgrade. Invest in a certification or training that increases your earning potential. Maybe it's a $2,000 course that qualifies you for a $10,000 raise. That's a 5x return on investment in the first year, and the raise continues forever. Look at your industry. What certifications or skills command higher pay? Invest in one. Even if it costs money up front, the ROI makes it worth it. Here's the math that makes this obvious. Cutting $200 per month in expenses saves you $2,400 per year. That's great. But increasing your income by $10,000 per year gives you $10,000 per year. Even after taxes, that's $6,000 to $7,000. Income optimization beats expense optimization mathematically. The ideal strategy is both. Cut $300 in expenses and increase your income by $6,000. Now you're saving $800 per month without feeling like you're depriving yourself. One warning. Don't sacrifice your health or your family relationships for side income. This is temporary, 12 months at most. After you hit $10,000, you can ease off. You'll have proven you can do it, and you'll have systems in place to keep building wealth without burning out. But for 1 year, increasing your income might be the difference between hitting your goal and giving up halfway through.
Saving $10,000 feels impossible when you're staring at zero in your savings account. The number is too big, the timeline is too long, your brain can't process it. But saving $850 by the end of this month, that feels doable. This is why breaking the goal into monthly milestones is critical. Your brain needs short-term wins to stay motivated. Here's exactly what your year should look like, month by month. Month 1, target $850 saved. This is the momentum building month. You're setting up your systems, you're automating the transfer, you're cutting your first major expense. It's going to feel hard because it's new, but when you hit $850 by the end of month 1, celebrate it. You're 8.5% of the way there. Month 2, target $1,700 total. You're adding another $850. This month proves it wasn't a fluke. You can do this consistently. If month 1 felt impossible, month 2 should feel slightly easier. You're forming the habit. Month 3, target $2,550 total. You just crossed 25% of your goal. 1 quarter done. This is a critical milestone. Celebrate it. Most people who quit do it around month 3 because progress feels slow. But you're not quitting. You're 1/4 of the way there. Month 4, target $3,400 total. Saving is becoming routine now. It's less painful than month 1. You've adjusted to living on less. Autopilot is starting to engage. You're not thinking about it as much. It's just what you do. Month 5, target $4,250 total. You're over 40% there. The hill is getting easier to climb. Momentum is building. The finish line is starting to feel real instead of theoretical. Month 6, target $5,100 total. You're halfway there. This is huge. Halfway is a psychological turning point. It proves you can finish. Most people who make it to month 6 complete the full year. Celebrate this milestone. Do something small but meaningful. You've earned it. Month 7, target $5,950 total. You're past the hardest part. The finish line is visible. Coast mode begins. You're not fighting the process anymore. It's just part of your life. Month 8, target $6,800 total. 2/3 complete. Only 4 months to go. Every month now is closer to the end than the beginning. You can feel the momentum. Month 9, target $7,650 total. If your tax refund hits during this time, add it to your savings to accelerate toward the finish line, or stay on pace and finish early. Either way, you're winning. Month 10, target $8,500 total. Final stretch. You've got $1,500 to go. Don't celebrate too early. Don't ease up. Finish what you started. Month 11, target $9,350. 1 more month. You're 93% there. You can see the finish line. Resist any temptation to spend part of this money. You didn't come this far to quit at 95%. Month 12, target $10,200. You did it. You saved $10,000 in 1 year.
You're now in the top 25% of Americans by savings. Most people never have $10,000 saved at any point in their lives. You just proved you can do something most people think is impossible. Here are the psychological tricks that make this monthly system work. Celebrate every $2,500 milestone. Every time you cross 2,500, 5,000, 7,500, do something small to mark the progress. It doesn't have to cost money. It just has to acknowledge that you're moving forward. Use a visual tracker. Whether it's an app, a chart on your wall, or a spreadsheet, make the progress visible. Watching the number grow keeps you motivated. Tell someone your goal. Accountability matters. One trusted friend or family member who checks in with you monthly can keep you on track when motivation fades. Join an online community of people doing the same thing. There are Reddit communities, Facebook groups, and forums full of people saving their first $10,000. You're not alone in this. The month-by-month traps to watch for. Month 3 trap. This is taking forever. Remind yourself you're 25% done. It only feels slow because you're comparing it to the full goal, but you've already made massive progress. Month 6 trap. I deserve to treat myself with some of this money. No, not yet. Finish first, then celebrate. Month 9 trap. I'm close enough, I'll just spend the rest. Close enough is not done. Finish what you started. Get to $10,000. The year is going to pass whether you save the money or not. Make the choice that your future self will thank you for. Knowing the plan isn't enough. You also need to know the traps that destroy progress so you can avoid them. Pitfall number 1, lifestyle inflation from raises. You get a $3,000 raise. Immediately, you start spending $3,000 more per year. Nicer apartment, better car, more eating out. Your savings rate stays exactly the same. The raise changed nothing. The fix is automating the raise into savings the same day you get it. You never see the extra money, so you can't inflate your lifestyle with it. Pitfall number 2, moving the goalpost. You hit $5,000 and suddenly decide you need $15,000 instead of $10,000. You never let yourself feel like you're making progress because you keep changing the target. The fix is finishing $10,000 first, then set a new goal, but don't change the target halfway through. Pitfall number 3, the emergency raid. You use your savings for something that's not actually an emergency. I'll pay it back, you tell yourself. You won't. The fix is separating your emergency buffer from your savings goal. Keep $1,000 to $2,000 in an emergency-only account. Save your $10,000 in a completely separate account that you never touch. Pitfall number 4, the comparison trap. Your friend just bought a new car. Your coworker is going on vacation. Your sibling is posting about some expensive purchase. You feel like you're sacrificing while everyone else is living. The fix is remembering that most people who look rich are actually broke. They're financing the lifestyle. You're building actual wealth. Pitfall number 5, the I deserve it justification. You work hard. You've been saving for months. You deserve that $500 splurge. You're right. You do deserve it, but not while you're actively trying to hit a savings goal. The fix is planning rewards at specific milestones. When you hit $5,000, you get a small reward. When you hit $10,000, you get a bigger one, but not randomly whenever you feel like you've earned it. Pitfall number 6, telling everyone about your goal. You tell 5 people you're saving $10,000. 3 of them discourage you. You're being too strict. Live a little. Money isn't everything. People who aren't building wealth themselves will try to pull you back down to their level. The fix is telling only supportive people or no one at all. This is your goal. You don't need approval. Pitfall number 7, analysis paralysis. You spend 3 months researching the best high-yield savings account. Meanwhile, you've saved nothing because you're stuck optimizing instead of executing. The fix is picking any FDIC-insured savings account and starting. The difference between 4.5% and 5% interest on $10,000 is $50 per year. It doesn't matter. Just start. If you fall behind, recalculate. extend the timeline by 2 months, or find one more expense to cut to get back on track. Progress beats perfection, always.
Saving $10,000 in 1 year is achievable, but not with the generic advice that ignores your actual income and expenses. It's not about willpower or discipline. It's about having a strategy that matches your reality and building systems that make saving automatic. If you're making $35,000, your path is different than someone making $85,000. That's not failure, that's reality. Follow the path that fits your income. Here are your immediate action steps. 1. Calculate your actual monthly take-home pay after taxes. 2. Pick the income-based path that matches your situation, path A, B, or C. 3. Open a separate savings account at a different bank this week. 4. Set up an automatic transfer for the day after your next paycheck. 5. Audit your big 3 expenses: housing, transportation, food. Cut or optimize one of them. 6. Mark your monthly milestones on a calendar: $850, $1,700, $2,550, all the way to $10,000. 7. Start today, not next month, today. Your $10,000 is either a fully funded emergency fund that protects you from financial disasters, a down payment on a reliable car so you're not stuck with debt, seed capital for an investment account that starts building real wealth, or geographic freedom to relocate for a better job opportunity. Most people never save $10,000, not because they can't, but because they never commit to a real plan. You now have the plan. The only question is whether you'll execute. And here's the truth that should motivate you. The year is going to pass, whether you save the money or not. 12 months from now, you'll either have $10,000 in savings and momentum to keep building wealth, or you'll be exactly where you are right now, watching another year go by, wishing you'd started. Your future self is watching this decision. Make the choice they'll thank you for. Start today. Build the systems, follow the monthly plan, and 12 months from now, you'll be part of the small percentage of Americans who actually did what most people only talk about. You can do this.